Hi everyone, welcome to a new era. This is Emma. I have a little bit of a different story here today to tell you. Some of you guys might have heard a little bit about it in my, what was that, Valentine's read. So that was the 14th of February, and it was decided then that my oldest son was going to get a surgery for a cochlear implant. And if you don't know what that is sort of a mechanical way to be able to hear if you have no hearing left. And it's a quite invasive operation. It's quite an invasive surgery. You go in through the actual bone, like in the head, in the skull, behind the ear, and you place this little cochlear implant, and then and a little magnet on the inside, and then you put the actual a little thingy on the outside that receives the sound that sends then signals to the brain to, through a mechanical way, sort of trick the brain into hearing. So it's not through your ears that you're hearing through your brain, literally. And this is a journey. And for whatever reason, I feel like I want to share it with you. I'm a very private person. I know that you guys don't know too much about me because I'm just really, I don't know. I'm not out there like that. I'm all about the, message for you guys. But for some reason, I want to share it. And I think it's because other people are probably going through similar things right now, and this might be helpful. And I think it's because we're closing down a huge chunk of time and energy that is now coming to a close. It means that we are opening up something different, something else, but we're closing down a big chapter of trauma, of something's being healed right now. And I feel like this is a big healing moment for us. It's a very emotional moment. And it started with, you might need a cup of tea or a cup of coffee for this one, if you're interested in listening to this. It started early. So my son was born. He's turning 24 this year. Weird, since I'm only 25. He was born with hearing. And it was not only until he was 3 or 4 years old that we started to suspect that something's not right. And it gradually just went down from there. So around 4 or 5 years old, he was borderlining completely deaf. So he started with hearing aids, and that has helped him to just receive sound, but that's it. And so because he didn't lose his hearing until he was 3 or 4 years old, he developed a speech. He developed a language. But the doctor said that will peter out. That will disappear because he cannot hear his own voice anymore. The reason we can talk is because we hear our own voice, right? But it didn't disappear. He continued to actually evolve his speech. And he was so interested in reading and everything around that. So he developed a really good, he has a good vocabulary, both in Swedish and in English. Mainly in Swedish, and then obviously sign language. So sign language has been his first language. And then started a war. A war started between me and his father. We separated around the time when he was 5, and then his father wanted to implant this cochlear thing at that age. That was maybe around when he was 7 or 8 years old. And Gustav, as his name is, he kept saying he didn't want it. To me, he said he didn't want it. And his dad claimed that he said, that he did. Or at least he thought he was too young to decide this for himself, that we as adults should decide for him that he needed this in order to be able to hear. And I was like, that's over my dead body, because as long as he's saying no to me, and even if he's saying no to something that he doesn't know what he's saying no to, I at least wanted him to be old enough to decide for himself. And so I was a clear no. So then his dad dragged me to court because he wanted to have sole custody, because that's the only way in Sweden. So we're going into surgery, or we're making a big decision like this. Over our child. It can be vaccines, it can be different things that he is supposed to do. If one of the two parents are saying no, then it's an automatic no. So the only chance that one can sort of get through what they want, their wish, it needs to be sole custody. So if you have sole custody of that child, obviously you decide what to do. Now it's not up to the child anymore, at least not at that age. It's up to the parent. But I was a no. I was a constant no. So then he filed for custody, that he wanted sole custody so that he could decide for himself that we should put this in. And just so that you understand this is what I mean with the big, like, I am getting a little bit emotional. I'm vibrating at a really high speed as I'm talking about this, because there's so many layers to this. The hierarchy that has been going on here, the patriarchy that has been going on during all this has been mind-blowing. And so through this, I mean, I was going through, like, I wasn't just bluntly saying no. I was talking to doctors. I was like really putting myself in, what is this? What is it that we're going to do here? If we're going to do this, what is this? And I started to get more and more information about it. We met up with doctors, and they then offer a therapist, because you might need to talk with someone to sort of talk about your emotions. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts. And so they addressed the same therapist to both of us. We went in one time together, and we went in separately. And the time that we went in separately, because I was like, how on earth, why don't I even get a phone call that you want to sue me for custody? Is it not sort of, I don't know, nice to just lift up the phone and say, you know what? I have this feeling that I want to sue you for custody, and I'm going to throw you under the bus, and I'm going to sort of smear you as much as I can, have a really beautiful smear campaign about that you're a lunatic because you're dealing with you say that you talk to angels, and you say that you do healing work, and you say that you do all this crazy stuff. So you're going to be a loser. You're going to be a goner. I'm going to have full custody of my child. And I was like, I don't even understand where you got the idea from. And that was just something that I sort of threw out there. Like, where do you even get this idea to sue me for custody? Like, can we not sit down and talk like two normal people? And you even share that this is what you want? He was like, it's actually the therapist that advised me. So here's this therapist, this man therapist. Do you hear that my behind the is a man therapist that advises him to sue me for sole custody. And then I'm supposed to go in and share my thoughts with him. Like, here's a safe space for you to share what you think about all of this. Not so much anymore, thank you very much. I'm going to see someone else. And then I'm called in to this meeting with not only one, but three doctors. And it's really scary. You go in as a young woman. I was at that age, then you know my age now, 20. How old was I? Never mind. I was really young. And I was called in. I had no idea why. And they sat me down. Three doctors sat me down and said, we just want you to know that if your son's father, if it goes like all the way to have you be in court, we're going to be there and support him. I was like, how can you even say that? You're only here to advise us. You're not here to sort of, we're just saying, we think it's the best thing for your son. And I was like, how do you know it's the best thing for my son, since my son is saying no? We just think it's the best thing. Three men doctors were saying this to me. And I was leaving that place and I was sobbing. I was so scared. I was like, they're going to take my child. They're going to take him away from me. And they're going to put something in his brain that he doesn't want. I was like, how is this not, how is this not assault? How is this not going over someone's will? The free will to their own body. He's way too young for this. And it was a whole thing. And to throw in a little side note, that probably was the first time that I really, really learned the power of thinking, the power of steering the energy. Because I was like, I'm going to lose this. I am losing myself, and I'm going to lose this because I am so dark in my thoughts right now. Like, this is not working. I was like, I need to change something here because this is not working. So then I started to really put out that this is working out. I didn't believe a second of it in the beginning. I was like, this is working out. This is going to be fine. This is going to, and I kept just saying these things. I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to turn this around, but it's going to work out. And what then started to happen was that my son's father, attorney, sent me wrong stuff. They sent me the wrong name, like the person suing you, so-and-so, and said my son's father's wrong name. So it was the wrong person suing me, so it was not a case anymore. I was like, well, you better get the words, like the name right before you know. And it was just small things that started to crack up. Like, and then my son's father, like, he had it because I called him maybe, I don't know how many times a day for probably a week or two. I was like, now they have sent me this and it's not accurate. So you might get your attorney in line for what you're actually accusing me of. It ended up us laughing together because I said, you might want to, like, if you want to win this, you might want to get a different attorney because you're going to lose. Your attorney sucks. And he just laughed and he was like, I know, she is like the worst person I've ever dealt with. She's calling me every day. I'm giving her notes and she's writing down the wrong notes. I was like, how can you get my name wrong? So it's not even me suing you anymore. I know, you better get that straight. And then I don't know, long story short, long story long, somehow that he withdrew the whole custody thing. He wasn't going to sue me anymore. Then he came with some other stuff, but that was like, okay, maybe that's the repercussion of what I've sent out there. And now this little thing is sort of, everything petered out and it turned out like, okay, we're not going to fight about this anymore. I was close friends with his family at that time. We were like really close. I lost them. They wanted to have me sound like some weirdo because I was really getting into the spiritual stuff that I'm still doing today, and that I wasn't capable of taking care of any children. And I had sort of come and gone as much as I wanted in that family, and I was no longer welcome. I was like, I hope I see you soon. Like, let's grab a cup of coffee. And his mother was like, I don't think you're welcome here for a cup of coffee anymore because we think that you've gotten a little bit weird. It's like, okay. So that was that. And it was a quite lonely journey because it was like I felt like it was me against the establishment. That's what it felt like. And that's what it was. And now, so it's a whole other stuff that's been going on around it. But long story short, now, or 2 years ago, my now grown up son, all of a sudden from like almost out of the blue, like, I think I want to get a cochlear. It's like, okay, cochlear it is. we're on the path again to cochlear. He was like, yeah, I think it sits right with me. I think I need to have a cochlear. I think I can even like put one in one ear and that will sort of get the other one going. It's what it feels like. Because he was always determined he was going to hear again. He was like, I'm not going to be deaf forever. I was like, I don't think you will either. And then the doctors were like, oh, yes, he will. And he's not going to, continue to grow his speech or expand his speech. And they have just continued to say, we don't understand this one. It doesn't make sense. He's not supposed to speak the way that he speaks because he doesn't hear himself. So why does he speak the way that he does? Why does he keep evolving his vocabulary when he can't hear himself? I was like, I don't know. I think it's a preparation for him to hear. And they're like, oh, she's crazy. And now we're here, and it took almost like 1.5 years from when he decided to go into all this. So we've been through all these different, to check, is that okay with him, his brain, is this going to be a beneficial thing for him? I mean, it is a surgery in his brain, so we want to see that this works. And there's a slight chance or risk, I want to say, that the actual hearing that's still left is being cut off. And so we don't want to jeopardize that either. So are we really, really sure? Lots of different tests being taken. And then coming up to the final. So this has been going on for 1.5 years. I've been with him driving back and forth and not having someone for my little one, but have my then grandma come in and take care of the little one while I've been with him to all these tests, to sort of come up to the climax of all things, which is the surgery. And then I get stomach flu. And the reason I got stomach flu, I think, is because I needed to sort out all the different layers of what I felt like a big trauma in this, to feel not heard, to feel not validated, to have my son's father be so against me. And he ended up being the one taking him. He's not come to any tests. He's not been there for anything before this. But we asked him to come to the surgery, and it was like, yeah, I can do that. It wasn't a really nice conversation going back and forth, but it was okay. It ended up me being out of complete control, just surrender completely. And I mean, it wasn't like I was home having a cold, so I just felt sorry for myself. I was like really having stomach flu, so I almost didn't care there for a while, because I was like, I was so sick. I think I just sort of vomited out everything that had came with it, because it's not in my nature to not be there with my son for his surgery. It's just not written anywhere that I'm not supposed to be there. So the fact that I got stomach flu, that's no coincidence, you know? So all that I vomited out there, it just felt like years and years and years of pent up, I don't know what. He went through surgery, and I want to thank you guys for some of you guys that really sent a lot of messages saying that you, like, we're here for him, we're here for you, we hope it goes well. I know that a lot of you guys didn't even know that this was going on. I have a Swedish group of like 500 or 600 people that all came together to just hold him. I'm getting emotional. To just hold him and the doctors in the highest light during the surgery, because I couldn't. I was out of it. I was no help at all, and it was so frustrating. I wasn't even in the same city. It's like hours away from here. So it wasn't like I could just up and go if something happened. And so have that community come in and help when I felt alone for like 20 years in this. It's like so much healing. And then I talked with my son. He's been here with me now for a week. And I talked with my son, and he was like, you know, Mom, I think something greater went down here. With this, he was like, and he's, I don't know who is sometimes, because he's turning 24, but he feels like a 80-year-old wise man at times. I was like, I don't know what went down here, but I think we healed not only what's been going on for us, and not only my hearing, but I think we healed generations. It's like I feel like there's generations being healed from this. Like we've carried something grander or greater than just me or just you. And that's why it's been so heavy at times, or so hard. But he was like, but you know what? It's like, it takes a you and it takes a me to get this shit done. And I was like, I laughed so hard. I was like, yeah, it takes a you and it takes a me. But I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough. And now he's on his healing journey, and I'm on my healing journey. I'm healing emotionally, and he's healing physically and emotionally. And I think we're healing a whole generation. And that's why I want to share this with you. It's because there's something so deep for me and so important for me. I don't know if it makes you have like a greater understanding of who I am and what I'm giving you in these readings. But I think it's a lot of you guys who's drawn to my channel probably are going through something different. It's different. Something different, yes, but something maybe of different nature, but of similar energy, if that makes sense. Like, you're probably healing generations of something else. if there's something that's so heavy and it seems like it's just a never-ending story, and it's quite lonely on that journey, and like you feel like you have to carry a lot, you probably don't carry only your own stuff. It's like generations of ancestral healing that has been going down. And I think we're at this, I don't know, tipping point where a lot of these things are being now, like it's healed, and we're coming out so much stronger on the other end of it. The types of calls that I've been able to make now to doctors, to surgeons, to people in between, where I've just for one call at a time have taken my power back. One call at a time. I've been like, where I've before was like quiet as a mouse, and I didn't dare to speak up because I was like, they're gonna take my son if I say one word. And now it's like, that's not gonna work for us. You need to do this. It would be better if like this is gonna go down instead. That schedule is not gonna fly with either me or my son. I haven't been a bitch about it, but I have been like able to just say, that's not gonna work. Here's what's gonna work for us. Can you work around that? And they have obviously nothing to do with it. And I think also the team taking care of my son has been, I mean, beyond, and been so understanding, and so like the universe probably felt like we can't have one single, not even a nurse, say something off or she's gonna snap. They've been just nothing but like, does that feel good to you? When's the surgery gonna work? Like what is the, I mean, there's been a long wait, but I think that's a part of it. We needed this wait because of a lot of healing. And so I think whatever you're going through right now is, you may even recognize yourself in this story, and that something is literally now being healed. And I'm there for it. I understand it. I hear you. I see you. Yeah. And now here comes my son. I sent him a little message a while ago to just maybe come and say hello. Because you know that you guys have been out there.
Hello?
Kom lite. Jag vet inte om du kan sitta i mitt knä, men du kan sitta bredvid mig. This is Gustav. It squeaks. It sounds really loud on his hearing aid on this side. And here's the surgery being made. So, yeah. I just wanted to show you him and for him to come and say hello. Hello. The one hearing aid is still functioning. Well, not right now because it beeps when it, I don't know what that's called, rundgång. Anyway. Okay, that's what I have for you, beautiful people. If you have made it to the very end here, I just want to say there's a lot of things that are done. I'm done. This is done. It's over. And we can now sort of almost start a new paradigm. It's a paradigm shift. And it's on a grander scale. It's not just us. This is not a personal thing. This is a planetary thing. Okay? I hope that if someone feels that they're not taking their power back just yet, that it's coming. And I'm sending every energy hug I can out there to back you up, because sometimes we need backing up. Okay? Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys.